This is Nick Baisley from FilmSnobbery, and I am here we're interviewing Dances with Films peoples. And who am I here with?
Alanna Ubach.
And?
Sam Hancock.
And you guys are here with us. Yes. I'm very excited. It's actually a film that looks really interesting. I'll have you real quick, Sam, tell us a little bit about it.
Sure. Us is a psychological drama. It is about a woman who lives with dissociative identity disorder or multiple personalities, and her sort of struggle to find love in the world and to find acceptance. And these two different men that she meets, one is kind of a benevolent stalker character, one is a love interest, and the ways in which they try to save her affect her life and how she responds to that, and the sort of crazy chaos that ensues when, different minds meet,
Alanna, how do you relate to the character?
How do I relate to the character? I could give you a really ridiculous answer, which I will, and then I'll justify why. But I think that for something like this is like a 7-course meal for an actor, because you do get to play all of these different mind frames and mindsets, and to actually do a bunch of different personalities. There isn't one character or one personality that she does take a hold of that I can't relate to in a certain way, because emotions are emotions, and whatever is really going on with someone, it all comes from something that we can all relate to, and it was just it was a little tricky trying to figure out how distinctive each one was, because obviously she doesn't dress entirely differently from one to the other. I mean, it's very much it's a posture, it's a stance, it's the cadence in her voice, it's even a different accent sometimes. And when I did when I did my research for this, I couldn't believe that a lot of the times they don't remember from what character to the next they are, from what personality. They can't really figure out, how is it that I know everything about law, in this one body, and then in the next body I'm a janitor at a high school, and I don't know anything from one personality to another. I can't remember anything that I've apparently learned in law school or studied for the bar, but it's amazing how people can take on these different personalities, and one is completely different from the next, and one doesn't know the other. Sometimes they do, but I'll give away the movie if I talk about that.
We're not going to give away the movie here. You're going to have to go see it. Yeah. Pay your hard-earned money, because indie movies are worth it. Did you do a little bit of research into the behavioral disorder that you were kind of portraying, or did you rely more on direction or your own instincts from previous experiences being an actor?
Well, everything. I mean, this is something that I obviously have never really played before, and so this is a woman who, to go from one character to the next, that's the fun part. But and figuring out what accent goes with what, and what posture goes with what. But to embody all of these different characters, the only way you can actually do it without looking almost comical was for me to actually, delve deep into my own crap, if you will. And I have a secret, and carrying that throughout the entire filming was something that I had to really, really trust and keep to myself. And Sam, when we first met, I being a comedian, I thought the only way I'm going to actually have this gentleman prove to him that I can actually do this, and for him to trust me, is if I say, look, I have a secret, and this is why you have to hire me for this role. And I came out, I told him the secret, and he was just like, all right, it's safe with me. Let's do this. Let's try it. And that was it.
That's fantastic. And, you have, we were talking a little bit before off camera about how, the script came to you, and it came to you from someone in the medical field. And why don't you tell us a little bit about that process, and why you were like, okay, this is the one I want to work on, as opposed to something, with a little more comedy to it, or, a flat horror or whatever.
Lighthearted and
yeah, talk to me. Give me a little something. No.
The script was originally written by a doctor of psychology named Matt McKay, and he brought my writing partner and I the script, and there were just some really interesting ideas at the center of it. Some really challenging ideas about both about mental health and normalcy and what we expect, out of partners, what we look for in relationships. It's really about how everybody has their own baggage, right? And how love is about finding someone whose baggage fits with your baggage in the right way. This is just taken, and that's really true of a lot of the sort of romantic films that we watch. I think this is just taken to an extreme. When you add something like a dissociative identity disorder to the mix, it really sort of punches it up to a different level that I thought was really, really interesting. I also thought that, at the center of it, the love interest, he has this deep need to save her. And I think one of the big sort of messages in the film, or ideas in the film, is that in a way is sort of as crazy as her disorder, as what's going on with her. And I thought that was a really, really interesting and complex idea, that we all carry, the baggage that we all carry is equally weighted in a lot of ways. So those were some of the things that really attracted me to the script.
My bag just tends to get lost. Never found again. It's too bad. I had some nice things in there. But
stolen.
most likely stolen.
I see it again.
No. Is
One of your personalities.
Or one of your
by one of my person. He's a prick. But is this the forgive me for not knowing off the top of my head, is this the premiere here at Dances with Films?
Yeah, the world premiere.
World premiere?
Yep.
So world premiere here at Dances with Films, and how are you expecting the audience to react? Are you expecting them to, what do you hope to get? What do you hope to get from this? No.
Well, what I hope to get, at least from the audience, is interesting conversation. A lot of the sort of test screenings we did in the early phase, in the editing phase, we just had such interesting responses from people. Different people taking sort of different characters' sides. People really arguing again about the sort of nature of love, the nature of what it is to accept somebody, warts and all. And I love that. I love making work that challenges people morally. It challenges the way that they think about how we relate to one another. So if I can start a conversation, with any of the people who see it, if they're walking out and they're saying to their friend, I really felt like that was just the wrong thing to do. And the other, no, don't you understand? It was the only thing that he could do. If I can get that sort of dialectic going, I feel like I've done my job,
And for you, working on a film like this as opposed to, other things you've done in the past, do you prefer a more serious tone movie to kind of break away from the more comedic stuff that you've done? Do you or is it what is it about how you choose roles that make you choose them?
If I've never done the role before, I'll do it. Most of the time, if it's a challenge, if I know that the research part of it is the most exciting thing, and also just preparing for it emotionally and sharpening your tools before the first day of filming, and that's my favorite process. As soon as the filming is over, my job is done. But for something like this, it was very different because you usually think, okay, this is the audience that's going to be watching this, and it's for the intellectuals. It's people who love to discuss the movie they've seen afterward, and not say, wow, that was a wonderful piece of cotton candy. Let's go to dinner and talk about something else. But for something like this, it's meant to disturb, and it's meant to provoke. And this character that I played is she's quite disturbing. And I know a lot of actresses had taken a look at the script and saw it for, I don't know, I wouldn't do something like that, and blah blah blah. Of course you wouldn't do anything like that, but this bitch would. and I'm gonna take her and I'm gonna make her mine, and I'm just going to run with her. And, there are very few parts that I'm, where I get the opportunity to actually sink my teeth into something and give it the caramel and nougat and almonds that it deserves. Most of the time I'm the second banana saying, he'll call you back, don't worry. What, did you text him? You texted him again? You're not supposed to do that. You know? I mean, you do that, and that's fun, and that's adorable and everything. But the older I get, the more I'm realizing, gosh, you know, is this what it's really all? Is this what my career is?
I don't think that.
Gotta shake it up.
I think that's tough to say at 29, right?
Oh, I love you. More like 92.
Yeah.
All right.
But no. So you know, Dance with Film's world premiere is this. This is you collaborated writing this. What's it? Why do you choose to write collaboratively versus just taking a script, whether it's from outside or your own, and just why do you decide to do it with someone else instead of by yourself?
Sure. I have a writing partner that I've always worked with, and I think that we yeah, good question. Yeah. And I think that we have found a rhythm with each other there. We sort of fill a need and
It's a marriage.
yeah, in a way, it is. You know, he's exceptional with certain aspects of the writing. I'm better at others. I think we fit together really, really nicely. So it's difficult for me to imagine not working on a script with my writing partner. Or at the very least, like having him do a dialogue pass, because I just think he writes just incredible dialogue, and I would, you know, always want anything that I was working on. I can really see myself always saying, "Hey Dan, can you take a look at this? I really need, you know, at least a dialogue pass on it from him." Then the third person, the doctor of psychology, he brought an expertise to the table that I think when you're dealing with something like this, something that you know, really does involve a very intense mental disorder, he, you know, lent an authenticity, or, you know, we could ask questions, and, you know, I did a lot of research on my own as well, but just having him there to get into the real nitty-gritty of how these things play out was incredibly useful. And again, I thought he brought some really cool ideas to the table. So they were exciting for both my writing partner and I. And now we're working on another script with him that is also sort of psychologically driven. It's a bit more of a mystery thriller. And again, I'm finding that he just has really interesting ideas. He has a great view of humanity. You know, as someone who has devoted his life to studying the human mind and how it works and how behavior works, and how relationships play out, I think he's just got a great sense of who we are and what makes us tick, you know.
Cool. I want to say thank you guys for both coming down and talking with us about us, and talking with us about us, and good luck on your premiere, obviously at Dances with Films, and looking forward to seeing what the next script. Yes, come see them.
See us.
Look us up online, us-the-movie.com.
The miracle of lower thirds. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Bye.